Last week, we've got to explore, understand the sources of cyber attacks. And we'll be learning the top 4 most common attacks hackers are using to prey on anyone, anywhere, and anytime. These will include network attacks, malware distribution, social engineering, and lastly for today will be data theft. Starting from this point, do pay more attention and I'm very sure you'll get something out of it. After understanding the sources of attacks, we'll move on to gear ourselves up to the types of cyber threats happening in the market. And I'll be showing you with all the real phishing emails and how you can identify these phishing emails. Hopefully, after this topic, you'll be more cybersecurity aware and gain more confidence and protective power to defend yourself. For today, I'll be sharing more on cybersecurity threats and how, as an individual like you and me, can handle these threats. The objective by the end of today will be to be more cybersecurity aware for you and me. The threats I'll be going through will be weak and default passwords, removable media. These are some things we spoke about previously and we are going to learn more in depth about them. Then we'll go through phishing and spear phishing. I'll be sharing some examples of these phishing emails and how they look like, followed by malicious code and unpatched and updated software. Concern area number 1, weak and default passwords. Password has always been one of the simplest security methods around the world. Having a weak password that anyone can easily guess or broken in is the most dangerous of all. Most of the time, it's made up of personal information like your birthday, mobile number, or your loved one's birthday. So, such password is considered to have poorly chosen words, or they just lack the complexity in it. We'll sum up the first point. A weak password makes guessing easily. But the presence of a default password is another dangerous level. Such default password is present in your equipment, like a home router. They came set up with their default password, but the default password will be the same across the entire product range. And it presents the major security flaws in most companies. As such default password, anyone can easily get into it. Such example will be having admin as your username and password. The type of password attacks we've already shared earlier on in our previous lesson, but we'll go through them one more time. Brute force attacks are like trying all ways and combinations to match and reach the desired password of the victim. Dictionary attacks let the system try to guess the key created by key division functions, while a keylogger attacks is installed as a tool to record down all the keystrokes applied to the victim itself. And lastly, all these are the top 10 passwords in the world. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, password as password. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and even 9. 111, sunshine, I love you. All these are examples of weak passwords. Before we learn about the countermeasures for weak and default password, let's have a quick indicator of what is a weak and default passwords. Words found in the dictionary can easily crack using a dictionary attack. So, this is not a safe way to do it. Significant information will be like your birthday or your mobile number. Through social engineering, hackers, by spending some time online on your social media postings, can easily guess these passwords and will try to access to your account. Lack of character diversity. How about getting your password and setting it as password? I think this portion doesn't need much explanation. What are the effects of using weak and default passwords? Hackers will be able to exploit the target person's habits and normally the person will be using the same password across sites and systems. This will make the victim, or I'll say the target person, an easy target. They make the life of a hacker very easy as well. A default password will allow hackers to easily crack passwords to the sites, and the ultimate objective is to gain access to the company information. The goal of the hacker is always to get the data they want, and I will say your data will be their ultimate goal. So what are the ways to make your password more secure and make you feel safer? Having a complete password will be a must. Combine the password string with letters, numbers, and also special characters. The more combination, the merrier, as hacker will require a longer time to crack, and they will need more ways to gain access to the password. What you are protecting is your data when you want to save them. So do not use personal information to protect something. This is a serious matter, and this is not an autograph. There's a saying goes, you can't get something that you can't defend. To counter dictionary attacks, do not use common phrases or words, especially words in trend. Words in factions will be captured by hackers in their dictionary list. Password is important to you, so you must keep it close to you. Do not write them down on a piece of paper or any form. Memorize it if you are able to. Understand that in some companies, there are a lot of systems require all different passwords, but try to keep it safe from anyone to gain access to it. If you are using the same password for your company devices and personal devices, remember to change them regularly. Changing them every quarter is a good guideline. Clipping level is how much times you are allowed to enter the wrong password before the system locks you out, and you require security questions or other authentication methods to log in again. Keeping the clipping level low will mean brute force attack will be stopped. In many companies, the clipping level will be kept to maximum of 3 attempts. Don't use the lazy man methods, saving your password or login credential into your browser. This is never a safe way, and it's the biggest mistake. The next cybersecurity threats we will be looking at will be removable media. This can be considered as any storage devices that's connected to the system. They are storage devices, so they can store files or malware, which can be triggered based on conditions or logic. And they're the best way to get access to your systems, as they're considered as direct access. So it's just like plugging and unplugging your RJ45 to your router. Examples of this media will be pen drives, flash drives, CD, and DVDs. All these are a little old school, but there are still people using this old school technology. And lastly will be your external hard drive and SSD. Now we'll look at some indications to all this. As we shared earlier on, hackers can leave all this media, such as pen drive, at location for personnel to pick up. This is like leaving it at an obvious place where you will pass by and be greedy enough to pick it up and insert the media to your company network. They can also send all these pen drive to your personal account under gesture or as a price, or sometimes as a free product testings. Since all these are free items, a lot of victims will use them. And we'll go through the effects under these attacks. They have the ability to corrupt files and destroy or modify information in the systems, because they are now in your systems and they have the administrative rights. And they have the ability to access and sabotage the systems. They can encrypt the systems and ask for ransom if they want to. Now, we'll go through some of the countermeasures for this removable media. Just in case you're allowed to bring your company laptop home, a quick rule of thumb: never use any personal owned media on your company laptop unless it's approved by your company. Ensure that you do not use all this media unless it's deemed as important and does not encrypt any data in the media. For the access right and who can get the password, follow the company policy. When you are dealing with government projects, the control of all this media is especially important. Now, we will be coming to a more interesting topic, which is phishing email. Why I say this is interesting because I've encountered them on a daily basis. Phishing is considered a high-tech scam that uses email to deceive the victim into disclosing personal information. The ultimate aim is to cheat the victim to expose their personal information and their company information. Phishing email is used to target anyone, but there are two kinds of different levels of phishing emails. Spear phishing is a type of targeted phishing that appears to be directed to a specific individual or a group of individuals. For example, department, HR department or finance department. Whale phishing. It's a specific type of phishing attacks that only target high-profile employees. Normally, it's a C-level of the company. Let's move on to some indications of phishing email. Firstly, they may contain bad grammars, misspellings, and is very general in a form, like addressing to hi only. They may also attach or include malicious crafted attachments or links to malicious website. The most common one will be asking you to update or verify information or click on the link. So far, you can see all the actions are to get you to click on the link or to click on the executable file. They can also appear to be an employer from a bank or from a credit card company. They can also be an online payment provider or even government agency. They will make it sound like they are from a position of authority or from a legitimate company and make you to believe and trust them. Phishing emails can sound very demanding or come with a dead serious consequences. For example, you will be sacked if you do not give the information, or they are from the direct orders from your CEO. There are times whereby phishing emails will also promise a reward when you click on the link. For example, you have won the top prize and it needs to be claimed immediately. Please click on the link. The countermeasures for phishing emails will be to delete away any suspicious email. And always look for digital signature that is from a trusted source. Any untrusted source needs to be deleted away immediately. And always ensure your computer system antivirus or anti-malware software are up to the latest patch. Never open up any suspicious email. Don't ever click on any link in a suspicious email or from any attachment in a suspicious email. Please also never call on the telephone number provided in the email if they are deemed suspicious. The best will be to Google for the right number if there's a need to call and verify. Lastly, do not disclose any information to anyone in the internet. Now, let me show you a few examples of a phishing email. This is a first example of a phishing email that claim to be from PayPal. And this is one of the worst phishing emails that I've ever seen. I don't think anyone will click on this. If you have opened up such an email before in the past and click on the link, do not worry, because after today, you understand that this is a phishing email and learn the reason why, and you'll be cyber security aware. There's 3 key highlights to show that this is a phishing email. Firstly, look at the list of people this guy sent to. There is a lot of people in the email. And the email domain is not from PayPal. And lastly, you can see there's a link to click on it, triggering that this is a phishing email. This is another simple example of a phishing email. As you can see, it's only to the victim, a person, but there's no subject, and there's a link to click on it. The link is searchyahoo.com, and I'm not sure why is that. Anyway, I'm not going to click on that, and I'm sure you will not be clicking on that as well. The next cyber threat that I'll be sharing will be malicious code. Malicious code can be defined as software that does damage or created unwanted behaviors in the systems. It includes all the malware attacks I shared earlier on. And this malicious code includes viruses, Trojan horse, worms, keyloggers, and spyware. I'm sure you are now very familiar with some of these terms. The following are suspicious indications related to malicious code. Malicious code can be distributed via email attachments. These attachments will have files that can be executed for them to run a series of actions. Downloading all this from a bad website. Visiting an infected website. Or direct connecting using your portable devices or your LAN cable. Malicious code may result in a few effects. They can corrupt files or destroy or modify information in your system. This is a serious impact, as they have the ability to change your administrator password. With the modifications or system logs, you will not be able to tell or trace the hacker that was in your system. Malicious code can also compromise the systems. As malicious files do come with numerous logic bombs, and some might only target a particular file. And once these logics are met, you allow the hackers to access or sabotage the systems. The countermeasures for malicious code will be more technical. It is mostly about scanning using your system tools, or you need to purchase other tools for scanning. The first countermeasures for malicious code will be to scan all your attachments. Even if you have tools to scan, you must also exercise caution when opening up any email attachment. The caution portion always includes deleting or reporting emails from senders you do not know. Do not take any chance to be the victims of malicious attacks. If you can view the email message in plain text, that will be the best. Because when documents are in plain text format, no files can run in the background. And do always turn off automated downloading to prevent unknown downloads in the background. As for the website, do ensure your operating systems and all software are of the latest patch. Patching will prevent all the vulnerabilities from happening in your system. If you are more technical, you can blacklist malicious links or IP addresses. Such malicious links can be found online. And for Family Office, block all unnecessary ports at the firewall level and host level, and also disable unused protocols and services in the systems. The next common attack we will be going through will be unpatched or updated software vulnerabilities. Unpatched or updated software provide vulnerabilities and opportunities for hackers to access information in your systems. The most common sentence which I always like to say is like closing a door without any lock. You welcome attackers without much effect. They are already in your system. Now we'll be going through the list of indicators related to unpatched and updated software. Have you ever experienced when you're accessing your system halfway through, you are prompted to relog in? This is because there's an unauthorized system access attempt. There are times when you are also suddenly prompted to provide information. These can be unauthorized system access or disclose of information or unauthorized data storage or transmission that happen. It can also be unauthorized hardware or software modifications that happen in your systems. The effect of unpatched or updated software vulnerabilities will include corrupt files or destroy or modify information. Also, there might be a chance of loss of information as hard drives are erased or hacker access and sabotage the systems. The following countermeasures can be taken to guard against software vulnerabilities. Always stay current with patches and updates. A weekly update is advisable. Always be on alert and stay vigilant. Human protection is the last line of defense. Do not rely solely on your system for all protections. There are ways to bypass all these systems and all this technology. The final measures will be to disconnect the computer systems in the event of any serious attack. We have come to the end of today's sharing. I hope you all enjoy the sessions. Next week, we'll be going through who are the defenders and all the cybersecurity tips for yourself and also for your management. And lastly, what should I report if there's a cyber attack? Stay tuned and I see you next week.